The reality of living in Sweden, Nordic paradise or expensive illusion. Sweden has long been portrayed as the ultimate Nordic paradise, a nation where everything operates flawlessly, where citizens are attractive, well-educated, and exist in perfect harmony with nature. But does this romanticized vision align with reality? Or are we witnessing another successful case of tourism marketing? In this comprehensive analysis, we'll uncover the myths and truths about life in the land of modern Vikings, allowing you to determine whether it's worth transforming your current existence for a Swedish adventure. The Scandinavian giant, impressive statistics. Let's begin with fundamental facts many people overlook. Sweden encompasses an impressive 450,295 square kilometers of territory, making it larger than Germany and nearly equivalent to Spain's size. To put this in perspective, imagine having territory comparable to California and Texas combined, yet housing merely 10.5 million inhabitants. While Spain accommodates 47 million people, Mexico hosts over 128 million, and Colombia houses approximately 52 million, Sweden maintains a population density that allows each person sufficient breathing space. This low population density directly impacts quality of life. According to the World Happiness Index 2024, Sweden ranks third as the world's happiest nation, surpassing even Switzerland and Norway. Coincidence? Unlikely. When you possess space, tranquility, and abundant natural resources, maintaining mental and physical well-being becomes considerably easier. The peace that conquered centuries. Here's a fact many ignore. Sweden hasn't participated in any war since 1814. Yes, you heard correctly. While the rest of the world bled through 2 world wars, regional conflicts, and revolutions, the Swedes chose neutrality and focused on developing their society. This allowed them to invest in education, infrastructure, and social welfare instead of spending on armaments and reconstruction. The result is visible today: impeccable cities, efficient transportation systems, and a society that functions like Swiss clockwork, but with the characteristic Nordic warmth. It's no accident that companies like IKEA, Volvo, Spotify, and H&M emerged from this environment of stability and prosperity. The cost of perfection. But here's where we must be honest with you. Life in Sweden isn't cheap. And when I say it isn't cheap, I mean it can be brutally expensive for those unaccustomed to Nordic standard. A coffee in Stockholm can cost between $6 and $8. A meal at an average restaurant ranges from $25 to $35, and let's not discuss apartment prices in the capital center. Taxes are also a separate matter. If you decide to work as a freelancer or entrepreneur, prepare to surrender between 50 and 60% of your income to the Swedish state. For many immigrants, this can be a difficult cultural and economic shock to assimilate. However, you must understand that these taxes finance a social welfare system, including world-class free education, universal health care, generous family subsidies, and dignified pension. The natural paradise that breathes. One of Sweden's most impressive aspects is its relationship with nature. 69% of the territory is covered by forests, primarily pine and spruce, meaning the air you breathe has exceptional quality. In cities, it's common to find enormous parks, running and walking trails, and green spaces integrated into urban planning. The concept of allemansrätten, or public access right, allows you to walk, camp, and collect berries and mushrooms almost anywhere in Swedish nature, provided you respect the environment. Imagine having free access to over 220,000 islands, thousands of crystalline lakes, and infinite forests. For someone coming from a polluted or overcrowded city, this can literally feel like paradise. Nordic beauty, myth or reality? Let's address the elephant in the room, the famous Swedish beauty. And yes, there's some truth to this stereotype. Swedes tend to be tall, with marked Nordic features, and there exists a culture of personal care and exercise that's noticeable on the streets. Both men and women maintain an active lifestyle, and it's common to see people of all ages exercising outdoors, even in winter. But here's the reality. This same beauty can be intimidating for immigrants. The social pressure to stay fit, dress well, and project a polished image can be overwhelming for those from more relaxed cultures in this regard. Additionally, dating culture in Sweden is very different. Apps like Tinder are extremely popular because face-to-face social contact can be more difficult due to Swedes' reserved personality. The challenge of social integration. Here we reach one of the most challenging aspects of living in Sweden: making friends. Swedes are polite, respectful, and professional, but they're also reserved and may seem cold initially. It's not personal, it's cultural. The Swedish wall is a real phenomenon describing the initial difficulty in establishing deep connections connections with local. However, once you manage to break through this barrier, Swedish friendships tend to be deep and lasting. Swedes value authenticity and loyalty, and if you demonstrate these qualities, they'll open their social circle's doors to you. Education, a global model. The Swedish educational system is, without exaggeration, among the world's best. From basic education through university, everything is free, even for immigrants. Swedish universities like the Karolinska Institute, Stockholm University, and Lund University rank among the world's most prestigious. For immigrant parents, this represents a golden opportunity. Their children can access world-class education without lifelong debt. Moreover, the Swedish educational system emphasizes critical thinking, creativity, and problem-solving, crucial skills in the modern job market. The job market, opportunities and challenges. Sweden offers excellent employment opportunities, especially in technology, engineering, medicine, and design. Companies like Ericsson, Scania, Electrolux, and many tech startups constantly seek international talent. Salaries are competitive and working conditions excellent, with an average of 25 paid vacation days, generous parental leave, and flexible schedules. But there's a caveat. Mastering Swedish isn't optional if you want to advance professionally. Although many companies use English as their working language, for leadership positions and most public sector jobs, Swedish is indispensable. Winter, the ultimate test. We cannot discuss Sweden without mentioning winter. And no, it's not just a bit cold. It's a complete experience that can last up to 6 months in the country's north. During the harshest months, you might have barely 3 to 4 hours of sunlight daily, temperatures that can reach -30°C, and an isolation feeling that can affect your mental health. Seasonal affective disorder, SAD, is common among expatriates unaccustomed to these extremes. However, Swedes have developed a culture around winter, including activities like skiing, skating, saunas, and the famous fika, coffee and pastry break, which help endure the dark months. The reality of immigration. Sweden has received a significant number of immigrants in recent decades, especially refugees from Syria, Somalia, and other conflict-affected countries. This cultural diversity has enriched Swedish society, but also generated integration challenges. Neighborhoods like Rinkeby, Tensta, and Rosengård on the outskirts of Stockholm and Malmö, respectively, have high immigrant concentration and can offer a smoother transition for newcomers. Here you'll find international food restaurants, support communities, and services in multiple languages. Stockholm, the capital that captivates. Stockholm is undoubtedly one of Europe's most beautiful capitals. Built on 14 islands connected by bridges, the city combines medieval architecture with modern design in a breathtaking way. The historic center, Gamla stan, seems straight out of a fairy tale, while districts like Södermalm vibrate with bohemian life and creativity. Public transportation is efficient and clean, streets are safe even at night, and proximity to nature is incomparable. You can be in the city center in the morning and hiking in a forest or sailing through the archipelago in the afternoon. Sustainability is a lifestyle. Sweden is a global leader in sustainability and renewable energy. The country has achieved the unthinkable. Economic growth while reducing carbon emission. Recycling isn't just an option, it's a way of life. Swedes recycle so much they must import waste from other countries to keep their waste-to-energy plants running. This green mentality reflects in everything, from massive bicycle and public transport use to preference for local and organic products. For someone concerned about the environment, living in Sweden can feel like being at the forefront of a sustainable future. Mental health, a taboo topic we must address. Although Sweden is considered one of the world's happiest countries, the mental health reality is more complex than statistics suggest. Long winters, social pressure to maintain a perfect image, and difficulty establishing deep social connections can significantly affect expatriates' psychological well-being. The phenomenon known as jantelagen, or Jante's Law, an unwritten social norm that discourages standing out or boasting personal achievements, can be especially difficult for immigrants from more expressive cultures. This "don't think you're better than others" mentality can create invisible pressure that some foreigners find suffocating. However, the Swedish healthcare system offers excellent free psychological support, and society has begun being more open about mental health topics. Cognitive behavioral therapies are widely available, and there's growing awareness about emotional well-being importance. The housing system, a major challenge. One of the greatest obstacles for new Swedish residents is finding housing, especially in Stockholm. The queue system for regulated rental apartments can take up to 20 years to obtain a decent place in the capital's center. Yes, you read correctly, 20 years. Most immigrants opt for the second-hand market, where prices can be exorbitant. A two-bedroom apartment in Stockholm can cost between 2,000 and 3,500 euros monthly, representing a significant portion of the average salary. Many expatriates end up living in suburbs and commuting daily to the center, adding time and transportation costs to their routine. A popular alternative is studentbostad, student housing, which, though designed for students, often houses young professionals and newly arrived immigrants. These accommodations offer an opportunity to live more affordably while establishing yourself in the country. Gastronomy, beyond meatballs. Contrary to popular belief, the Swedish gastronomic scene has evolved tremendously in recent decades. Stockholm has several Michelin-starred restaurants, and new Nordic cuisine has gained worldwide recognition for its focus on local ingredients and innovative techniques. However, for immigrants accustomed to more seasoned and varied cuisines, traditional Swedish food may seem bland initially. Flavors tend to be subtle, with great emphasis on fish, game meats, wild berries, and root vegetables. Dishes like surströmming, fermented fish, can be quite a cultural shock for unaccustomed palates. The advantage is that major cities have excellent international restaurant variety, thanks to the country's cultural diversity. From authentic Thai food to Ethiopian restaurants, through pizzerias run by Italian immigrants, the gastronomic offering is richer than expected. Technology and innovation. The Nordic Silicon Valley, Sweden, has positioned itself as a global technological powerhouse. After Silicon Valley, Stockholm produces more unicorns, startups valued at over $1 billion per capita than any other city worldwide. Companies like Spotify, Klarna, King, Candy Crush creators, and Skype have Swedish roots. For technology professionals, Sweden represents a paradise of opportunities. Swedish companies are known for their horizontal work culture, where hierarchies are less rigid and innovation is encouraged from all levels. Additionally, the Swedish government invests heavily in research and development, offering tax incentives for tech companies and startups. The country's digital infrastructure is exceptional, with some of the world's fastest internet speeds and 5G coverage among the best globally. For digital entrepreneurs and remote workers, this means they can work from practically anywhere in the country without connectivity concerns. The final verdict. So, is Sweden the paradise they paint? The answer is complex. For certain personality profiles, especially those who value stability, nature, quality education, and a robust social system, Sweden can indeed be paradise. For others, particularly those seeking warm climate, vibrant nightlife, low living costs, or a more extroverted culture, it might not be the best option. What's undeniable is that Sweden offers exceptional quality of life for those willing to adapt to its culture, learn the language, and tolerate long winters. It's a country that works, where institutions are reliable, where you can plan your future with confidence, and where your children can grow in a safe and stimulating environment. The key to success in Sweden lies in mental and emotional preparation for change. It's not enough to arrive with romantic expectations. You need realistic understanding of challenges and genuine willingness to adapt to a different way of life. The question you must ask yourself isn't whether Sweden is perfect, but whether it's perfect for you. Each person has different priorities, dreams, and circumstances. What for some might be a limitation, for others could be an opportunity for personal and professional growth. What do you think about this beautiful but challenging Nordic land? This analysis should help you gain a clearer perspective on what it really means to live in Sweden. Remember, the decision to relocate is deeply personal and requires careful consideration of your individual circumstances, goals, and adaptability to change.